Hello everybody, how you going? Hope you're all excited to be back at school. This weekend, we've got Mother's Day coming up, so what a better way to spoil mum than to cook her breakfast in bed. One of the most basic, but also one of the most delicious breakfasts we can make is something to do with eggs. So I'm here to show you guys 4 different styles of eggs. We're gonna do fried, scrambled, boiled, and poached, and they're gonna be delicious, and hopefully it's something that you guys can try at home and spoil mum this Mother's Day. Let's begin. Okay, so before we begin cooking, we need to make sure that our workspace is clear and clean. Okay, so removing any excess clutter, anything that doesn't need to be there, get it out of the way. As you can see, my bench is clear, my stove area is clear and ready to go. That way I'm gonna have problem-free cooking. The next step, one of the most important things, I need to wash my hands. Okay, so as we all should be doing religiously at this crazy point in time, washing our hands, okay? And also a reminder, if you're wearing a watch or ring, please take them off too, because food can get caught in them. And let's face it, dried egg caught in between the crevices of your rings doesn't sound very good. And of course, we don't want to pass on any germs. We're cooking for mum after all. We want to keep it nice and clean. Dry your hands with a paper towel. Okay, awesome. And when cooking with eggs, you need to be prepared. Eggs can be very unforgiving. They're a food that you've got to watch. They're very easy to mess up. So that way, be prepared. Have out your ingredients that you need. That way, halfway through the cook, you don't need to run and go, oh, I need to get a whisk, or I need some butter, because you can burn your egg. You might be going for a runny egg and you cook it too long to make it a hard egg. Okay, so they're very easy to mess up. So have all your stuff prepared and ready. Clear your workspace and wash your hands. Okay, so let's begin. Egg number 1, probably the easiest egg to cook and also probably the most common. We're gonna cook some fried eggs. Okay, come over to our stove and we're gonna put the heat onto a medium to high heat and put our frying pan down. Now it's important that we don't make it too hot because we'll burn the outsides of our whites before the center is cooked. So my pan's actually been heating for a little bit, so I can jump straight into cooking. Now, before you put your eggs in, put in a swirl of olive oil or a knob of butter or some spray and cook, that way the eggs don't stick. Or if you've got a non-stick frying pan, like what I'm using here, you can just simply put the eggs in straight away as they are. So a simple little crack on the side, into the pan, 2 hands, and in we go. Notice that it is not bubbling too crazy around the edges. Okay, that's because it's on that perfect heat that we need. Give that a couple of minutes until the whites start to solid up. And once the eggs look like the whites have all solid up, now yolks are still runny, you can take them off, but if for whatever reason you're a crazy person and like hard eggs, you'd simply give these a flip and wait till they are hard. Moving on to egg number 2, we're going to be doing some scrambled eggs. Now, there are a few ways to make scrambled eggs. You guys might already have a way. Your parents might do it a certain way. The way I'm going to show you now is just a basic and simple way that you can get it done really quickly. It involves milk, eggs, and butter. So we get a jug and put 3 tablespoons of milk in the jug. Cracking in 2 eggs. And giving them a good whisk. Okay, so coming over to the stove. Now scrambled eggs, they do not need lots of heat. Okay, I've got that on quite low. Again, my pan has already been preheating, so I can jump straight into it. So in a pan, melt roughly 2 knobs of butter into the pan. Now you don't want this butter to burn, and you'll know you've burnt your butter if it instantly starts to go brown and gives off that not pleasant smell. Okay, so as you can see, my butter, it's bubbling along nicely, nothing is burnt. Got a decent amount of heat behind the pan. So what we need for this is what we call a rubber spatula. Now, give our eggs one final whisk and pour them into the pan. Okay, now we are live. We are constantly moving the eggs through the pan, okay? Notice that the eggs are starting to go solid. Okay, that is the eggs cooking. And if it gets too hot, take it off the heat, because your pan already has enough heat to let it cook. Okay, and then, as we can see, this is pretty much finished. Now that did not take long at all, did it? Scrambled eggs, season them with some salt and pepper. You've got some beautiful fresh eggs. Okay, moving on to egg number 3. We're gonna do some boiled eggs. Now, boiled eggs can be a little bit tricky. You will require a timer for this one. Depending on how you like your eggs, if you like them runny, you'd cook them from about 4 to 5 minutes. Soft boiled, about 7 minutes, and hard boiled, 9 minutes. Also take into consideration if your eggs have been refrigerated or not. If they've been in the fridge, they will take just that little bit longer because they are cold. Okay, so in a pot or a saucepan, bring your water to the boil and then get your eggs. Now, don't just drop them in because you'll crack your egg. Lower them in gently. You can do this with a slotted spoon, the same spoon that you will get them out once they are finished. Okay, in gently. Whoop. And then we're going to grab our timer and check on them when that goes off. Okay, my timer has gone off, so it's time to get my eggs out. So get some paper towel onto a plate. That way, it stops the eggs from rolling around. It also soaks up any moisture. Okay, bring our eggs over, put them into your egg cups. If you don't have egg cups, improvise like what I've done here. And simply, once you can touch it, give it a little tap across with your knife. You just want to get that top layer off. And if we poke into our goo, we'll see that we've got our nice runny eggs ready for some toast and dipping. Okay, we're up to our 4th and final egg, and probably hardest egg to perfect, but in my opinion, the most delicious, and that is a poached egg. That involves cracking an egg over to some gently boiling water and poaching it for roughly 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Okay, so we come over here to our saucepan and we have our water gently boiling, okay? It's not boiling as fast as what it was when we did our boiled egg. If you were to try and poach an egg in rapidly boiling water, it would simply just explode and it wouldn't hold together as you'd want it. Before you put your egg in, make sure, a little trick when poaching eggs, that you put in some vinegar into that water. What's that going to do? It's going to coagulate the egg white. That way it all holds together into a nice little parcel. You only need about a teaspoon to a tablespoon, depending on how big your water is. Give that a little stir through. Another thing I like to do when poaching eggs, I like to put them into a cup or a little teacup or something like that, just so when we crack it in, we can see whether or not the egg yolk is broken. Because if it is broken and we've just cracked it straight in, it's really hard to try and salvage once it's already in the pot. So cracking it into a nice little cup like this allows you to see if your yolk is intact. Not only that, it also allows you to get nice and close when you're pouring your egg into the water. So before we pour it in, I'm going to make a little vortex. Now what this does, creates a suction in the center as a spot to put your egg. And that way all the white stays together and wraps around itself and creates that nice little ball that we like to see. So get that going good. We drop our egg in. Okay, notice how we can see the egg spinning around itself. We have a nice ball in the middle with the white around it. Okay. Oh, see, lucky I checked, this one's broken. Okay, next one. In we go. A little little trick you can do. Once they're in, make sure you just twist your pot. That way your eggs do not stick to the bottom of the pan. Okay, so it's been about 90 seconds. If we pick up the egg, see how it's actually still quite squishy and wobbly? I'm gonna put that back in for another 30 seconds. Check on this one, same situation. Okay, so checking on the eggs after that 30 seconds. As we can see, it made a massive difference. They have cooked through a lot more. So when getting eggs out, use your slotted spoon and make sure you place them onto a paper towel. Now, what that's going to do is allow your eggs to drip dry and soak up any excess water, because let's face it, no one likes soggy eggs on their toast. Okay, now every egg breakfast would not be complete without toast to go with it. Now, it's up to you what style of toast you like. You can just do plain white bread, you can do multigrain, you can splurge out like I have and got a nice beautiful loaf of sourdough. You can go with Turkish, it's up to you. But I like sourdough. I reckon it's a lot more fancier and nicer than just plain old white bread. So I'm going to cut some slices using a bread knife, curling my fingers back, as we can always see. Okay, so once you've got your bread all sliced up, or if you've already got pre-sliced ones, into the toaster until they are golden brown. Everyone knows how to make toast, right? Any breakfast wouldn't be complete without some sides to go with our eggs and toast. So we can put things on there such as, we can put bacon with our breakfast, some avocado. You can smash this, mix it with some lime, or just have it on its own. Some grilled tomato. Don't feel like you just have to stick to the options I've showed you. You can also put things like sausages, baked beans, mushrooms, halloumi, hash browns. There's plenty of things you can add to your breakfast. Add as much or little as you like. You are the one cooking it. Okay, and there you have it, guys. Eggs 4 ways for Mother's Day. If you have any questions or are unsure, please just drop a comment in the box below. I've also attached recipe cards to this video. That way you guys can follow along easily at home. We've got our fried eggs over here. We've got our scrambled eggs. We've got our boiled eggs. Notice how I've cut the toast into soldiers. That way they're easy to dip with. And we have our poached eggs here at the front. So thanks for everybody to watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it put some good food on the table for your mum for Mother's Day. To all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Have a good one.